In this session, we are going to see how to do time series forecasting using Power BI. Before seeing how to forecast the future set of data points using Power BI, let's understand the concept of time series forecasting. Let's assume this is our historical data and we have to forecast the future data points. All these correspond to data points with respect to a particular time. This can be, let's say, price of petrol in a city across different days in a month or year. And we have to forecast the future data. For the purpose of forecasting, we first need to remove seasonal and trend components from the original data set. Okay, the seasonal and trend are removed for each and every data point. Please note, seasonal is short term in nature and trend is more long term in nature. Once these two are removed, we are left with residual. So the forecasting is actually done for the residual, and then seasonal and trend components are added or adjusted into the forecasted residual to arrive at the future data points. This is how the algorithm works. Now the process of removing seasonal and trend, then working on residual, then incorporating seasonal and trend, all of these activities are done automatically by Power BI. You don't need to write any code for this purpose. We are going to be using a line chart, okay, and the data set we are going to be using is this. Timeline is there and the value of sales is also there, right? I have named it as DS and Y. You can name it the way you want. Okay. The data pertains to sales across different days in a month, in a year. Okay. I have nearly 2,900 and odd data points, right? So we will first create a line chart and then we will forecast some additional data points. Okay. So let's get started. And let's first import this data. The file that I just showed is a CSV file, comma separated values file. So we need to click that and let's come here, profit time series data. We will wait for this data to get loaded. I don't expect any transformation, right? The data is good to load. And the data will be loaded in a moment. Okay, we will create a line chart and then forecast additional data points, right? That's what we are going to do. Let's see if the data has been loaded. Yes, the data has been loaded completely. Now let's come here and click line chart. This is your line chart, right? Let's enter this, make it bigger so you can see it very clearly. Okay, now your date will go into axis and values will be Y. If you see this graph, it is showing across different years. We want this data to be shown across different years, of course, yes, but on a daily basis. So to do that, come here, right click and choose DS. See this? This is daily data across all the different years, right? From 2013 all the way to 2020. Let me make this bigger so it is visible to you, right? And on this, we are going to forecast some future values. This is sales across different days in a month, in a year, right? Nearly 7-8 years of data is there in this graph. Now, to forecast the future, what you need to do, come and click here. Okay, click this forecast, right? Add forecast. How many data points you require? You require, say, 300 data points, let's say, right? We don't want to ignore any points, and we want seasonality to be detected automatically, right? At a 95% confidence interval, right? Just click apply. See this? Power BI has beautifully forecasted it. That's it. You can download this data, right? You can share this data. You can create additional visuals. All of that is possible, right? The other thing that I want to highlight is, normally when we provide a forecast, we provide the upper end of the forecast and the lower end of the forecast. Let me explain this. But before that, let's increase the font size of the years and also the values. It appears very small, right? So let's go to axis, right? X-axis. Come down. You can see that the text size, let's increase it. See that it is increasing, right? Let's increase the value of Y also. For that, you need to go to the Y-axis, okay, and increase the font size, right? Okay, so this looks better, okay, and minimize the filter also, so the graph is very clear. Now the point I was making was the upper and lower end of the forecast. So when you move your cursor, okay, or take the cursor over the data point, you will see the forecast, upper bound and lower bound, right? Normally when we forecast future data points, the actual value of the forecast, rather the forecast value, will be provided along with the upper bound and the lower bound. Okay, so please keep this in mind, because forecast is not absolute. We never say that the forecast is 100%. We are not God, right? We can't forecast with absolute precision. There is always an error, right? Whether it is a 95% accuracy, 98%, or 99.99%, that 0.01% is an error, right? So the forecast value is provided with a upper bound and lower bound, right? So please keep this in mind, right? So with that, we complete the forecasting session. Okay.